Closing tools over the phone. Now, this is an aggressive closing tool. You may still be able to set up an appointment. Now, there's a possibility that this appointment may not be an appointment that we could sell. It all depends, but your goal is to set up appointments. The sales department is going to worry and handle the situation when the customer walks into the office. Your goal is simply to convince them to commit to an appointment and to show up to the appointment. So when they tell you, I don't have any money, that's a very reasonable reason for them not to show up. If they don't have any money, they're not able to take advantage of the options. Now, your goal is simply to give them an idea, to sell the idea that we have companies that may not require much. Of course, you're not going to tell them they don't require anything, but you're going to tell them there's a lot of companies that are flexible and willing to work with your budget or willing to work with you. They may not require much. Now, either way, if it's just a quick quote, $30 to $35, almost everybody should have that amount. Small activation or your monthly payment, if it's a cancel policy, monthly payment, I don't have it available, then we could tell them, well, just bring whatever you can. Or there's companies that may offer some exceptions, just come in so we can see if there's anything that we could do. So you're going to sell the idea that there's companies, there's options that we may be able to offer, but you're not going to go into specifics. You're just going to sell the idea that those options may be offered. Your main focus is to set up an appointment and for them to actually walk into the office. Now, if you set up an appointment for tomorrow, for example, from today to tomorrow, they may get motivated based on the information that you gave them. They may borrow some money. They may ask, or maybe they do have it. They just weren't expecting to use it. Whatever the situation is, your goal is to give them a reason why they should commit to an appointment and why they should show up. You're going to add value, service, and different alternative options to at least help them. Your goal is to set up an appointment and for them to walk into the office. So, sir, I completely understand you don't have money to open up your policy, but let me just share something with you. Now, we work with 70 different companies. We have a lot of companies that are very flexible and they're willing to help you and every single customer. Matter of fact, there's a lot of companies that offer options where you may not need much. You may not need a lot of money. Now, we have companies as low as $20 to $30 a month. So as long as you have something within that area, we may be able to help you. Now, why don't you give us an opportunity? Let's set up an appointment. Hopefully you can make it in as soon as possible. Bring with you whatever you have, and then we'll try to work with you. Sir, I completely understand you don't have a lot of money. Matter of fact, you may not have much. Don't worry. My goal is to help you, and I do appreciate the time and effort you're giving me. And matter of fact, giving you information, I'm already grateful for that because that's truly my job. But let me share something with you. Why don't we set up an appointment? Why don't you come down to the office? Bring whatever you can. We'll try to help you. Now, there's a lot of companies that are flexible. They're willing to help you, so they may be willing to work with your budget. So let's set up an appointment as soon as possible, and hopefully we can take care of your situation. Sir, I completely understand you don't have much money. Now, let me share something with you. My goal is to help you as much as possible. Now, a lot of companies are willing to help you, and whatever you have, we may be able to work with you. Also, why don't we schedule an appointment maybe for tomorrow or maybe for the following day, and why don't you try to see if you could borrow a little bit of money? Now, it seems like the liability option is $30 to $35. Why don't you try to see if there's anybody that could lend you for a couple of days until you get paid, and then you can pay them back. But at least your goal is to try to take care of your situation as soon as possible. So all of these tools, all of these scenarios, just to let them, to give them an idea, to sell the idea that we may be able to help them with whatever they have. So if they don't have much money, just to show up. Let us, there's no commitment, no obligation. Our goal is to give them information. So give them this idea, sell the idea that there's companies that are willing to work with their budget, and then hopefully that's more than enough for them to show up. And then the sales department is going to worry about figuring out if we have options or not. But at least if they show up, they'll go through the experience of actually walking into the office and getting service from an agent.